Welcome to the Middle-Raged podcast, where your hosts, Adam and Keith, get a bit cross about stuff that really doesn't matter. Bless them. Oh, and we should probably warn you that things can be a bit sweary at times.
Hello and welcome to this episode 18 of the Middle Rage podcast with me, Keith A. Pearson, and my co-host Adam Eccles, who is, I think, now back from the Dark Ages, yes?
Yes, back in the land of the living with power and light and internet. Wow, isn't it amazing?
I think if for those who don't know, but who haven't seen our posts on, my posts on social, you were a victim of Storm. What was it?
Storm bollocks, yeah. Storm Owen, I think it was called. Look, this is a rewind to our previous episodes about storm naming. I still think the concept is stupid, and I tell you what, so I was moaning before about all the spurious weather warnings, right? And yes, I got a million warnings about this storm, and yes, this storm was absolutely horrific, right? It took out most of Ireland. We nearly blew away into the Atlantic, right? Or the other way, but this one deserved all of the warnings. All of the other ones, they cried wolf so much. I was like, it's not going to be that bad. How fucking bad can it be? But it was, right? But yeah, they ruined it. So I stand by my previous rant that all of the spurious warnings were just crying wolf.
Well, if everything's a warning, then nothing's a warning, is it?
Yeah, that's it, right? We're living in a permanent state of panic.
Crises, emergencies, everything is, hyperbole on every level, really.
Exactly, yeah. They need to calm down, right? And yes, I mean, so tell me about the ones that are going to rip the roof off the house. But, if it's just going to blow just a little fart out in the Atlantic, I don't really care about that.
No. So how long were you without juice?
Full 3 days. And I tell you what, it was quite horrific. No heat, no light, no internet, no nothing. So I've got a camping gas stove, and I was making tea with that. So that's something, right? But I've never used it before. So the little gas cylinders only last about half a day. 5 cups of tea and it's gone. And then all my power banks for charging the phone, they all depleted. And all my little lamp things that are, little lantern-y, camping lantern thing.
Oh, the USB things, yeah.
Yeah, I'm prepared, right, because I live in the sticks and I know this sort of thing happens, but I've never had to make it last 3 days before.
So I think it would be worth exploring your emotional state when you were initially told that your electricity would be restored on the 4th of February.
Oh, yeah, they're right. So, there's when we looked at the map of Ireland with all of the outages, like there's a website showing the power outages, there was literally thousands. And you think, well, there's only so many electricity repair. So
where they're going to start,
right? Exactly, and the initial forecast. So this happened when was it? Was
it Friday?
Yeah, Friday. Yes, yeah, Friday night. So I don't know what date that was.
Just to timestamp this, we're currently 5 days late with the recording, which we're going to blame on Storm Owen, the prick. So it's Tuesday today, I believe. Is it Tuesday? Yes, it is.
Tuesday today, yeah. So
Tuesday today.
The initial restore date that I got was like a week on, I don't know, February the 4th. And so I was like,
Christ.
For fuck's sake.
That would have been, 10, 11 days?
Yeah.
Can you imagine that?
That's just brutal. I mean, I can't work. I can't do my day job from home like that. So I was looking at...
I'd say that's the least of your problems.
Well, yeah, but But it would have meant a 2-hour drive each way to go to the office because I wouldn't have been able to avoid it that long. But yeah, no, getting home then to freezing cold. Oh.
More worry. So you're going to the office, but you've got no means of having a shower.
Oh, yes. That was one of my concerns.
Not as much as concern as it was for your colleagues, I'd imagine.
Well, I mean, having worked in that office previously with a lot of nerds, I know that a lot of them seem to not have access to showers as it goes anyway, right? So,
grim.
A bunch of nerds are not the most cleanly, let's say, people in the world. So there's that. So, yeah, but it wasn't, it was, yeah. So when Sunday evening, I had evacuated and gone to my sister's house for dinner, right? And all of a sudden I got a text message, your power has been restored. I was like, don't tease me now. Is that a joke? Is that because it had been going backwards and forwards on the dates for ages, right? So, I was skeptical, and then I bolted home and I got within eyesight and I saw the lights on. I was like, thank fuck. Yes.
Imagine if you got in, you got everything sorted, and then it went out again.
Oh, brutal. But yeah, I mean, so look, everyone's going to say, oh, well, aren't we so dependent on electricity? And, we didn't always have it. I'm like, I don't give a fuck. I am dependent. I am an addict. I plug myself in. I don't give a fuck.
I don't buy that. It's like saying, well, we never used to have antibiotics. But
exactly, yeah. Well, we all fucking died at age 30.
Exactly.
Yeah. So,
give us all the stuff, all the modern conveniences.
Yeah, damn right. I mean, everything I do requires electrons to move. So... Yes, so I need them to move. So yeah, it was brutal.
Well, it's good. It's good to have you back from such a dark time. Literally,
indeed, literally dark. Literally bleak and dark. But I mean, on one, I did sit in the car for a few hours, warming my ass up on the seats, and I did get some writing done. So there we go.
That. Well, it was all grim. Talking of grim, It's still January.
Is it? Fucking Jesus Christ, like it seems like it's been about 6 months of January.
Every year, this same conversation just seems to do the rounds, doesn't it? It's like we have now passed, though, this is the 28th, and you weren't aware of this concept, Blue Monday.
No, I mean...
Apart from the New Order hit,
band,
I'm guessing.
Yeah, a song, yes, yeah. It's not the same as Black Friday, is it?
It's very much not. It's the third Monday of January, and it is by some according to I don't know whom, the most depressing day of the year.
Yeah. I mean, I reckon that's a sort of self-fulfilling prophecy. Like if you tell people you're going to be depressed on this day, well, they will be, won't they?
I mean, some people will have actual depression, so I'm going to guess.
Yeah.
It's just like another day.
Yeah.
Maybe they feel less depressed because everyone else is depressed, and they feel less.
The baseline.
They feel more. Yeah.
But what makes it the most depressing day?
I think it is. You're a million miles away from the last payday, I guess. Because a lot of people get paid before Christmas, don't they?
Yes, that's true.
So they've run out of money. They're probably into week 3 of dry January.
Oh, well.
The weather has been just... We've had this thing, I can never remember. It's got this German phrase. It's called... I cannot remember for the life of me.
Freud.
No, Dinkelflont or something like that. And basically it's where there's very little wind and it's just this sort of weird opaque grey.
I had plenty of fucking...
Well, but prior to the storms, this is what January's been like. It's just been relatively still and grey and just... It's like, it genuinely does feel like you're living in a Tupperware nightmare. It's just awful. It's just depressing. Even during the storms, we've seen a bit of, a flash of blue sky now and then and a bit of sun. Yeah, so, it mixes it up a bit. But I guess that all contributes to, or basically just, the fact that everything actually is shit. I mean, that might be another reason.
Yeah, but I mean, I reckon that's every day, right? So I don't personally care about the grey and the dark and all that. I mean, I don't go outside anyway, right? So,
hello, darkness, my old friend.
There you go, exactly. So, I don't really,
I think it's probably because, no matter how shitty life is, at least you can go and have a picnic in the summer, which makes everything better, right?
Well, wasps. I just got one word, right? Picnic.
Okay, you've ruined it.
Those little bastards,
So maybe Blue Monday isn't. Maybe every day's Blue Monday for in Eccles land.
It is, pretty grim.
Yeah. Okay. Well, if you come here to be to feel downbeat and to feel even more depressed than Blue Monday, you're in the right place.
Indeed, rocking and rolling.
Yeah. So we should probably do a bit of catch up. And do you know what the catch up is this episode? Can you play a tumbleweed jingle? Do you have one of them? That'll do. Literally, I think our audience are so depressed that they just, people, I don't know, maybe people have given up social media for January.
That's a thing, yeah. That's a thing, I suppose.
I'm guessing here because they're literally very little on social media. And I think it's probably because people have...
nobody's talking to us.
Or they've just given up on life and...
right.
Yeah.
But they're still downloading, still listening to the podcast. The afterlife.
Well, that, we'll take any audience where we can get them. So this is more of a prompt, really, I guess, than a catch-up corner. It's
yes.
Yeah, so if there's anything in particular that you would like us to rant about,
yes,
then please do tell us, providing it's nothing too controversial. We don't want to talk about...
No politics, no religion, no, none of that, because we're not, don't give it.
No social justice type stuff.
Oh, God.
Although we might at some point, we'll do a Patreon type, for members only type podcast where we rant about kind of stuff. But
release the valves.
Yes, we can have like a Keith and Adam political corner or something where we just complain about politicians. I mean, that would be a long episode.
Yeah. Well, yes, but we wouldn't put that out into the world because people don't.
No, because we'd get cancelled. Well, the trouble is everything is so partisan, isn't it? So if we said something that pissed off one lot, then they wouldn't want to buy our books and stuff. So, and whoever you talk about, you're going to piss off someone, aren't you?
Well,
so
I stick to the principle that all politicians are assholes, all of them. And then you can't offend anyone, can you?
Do you know what? I think it's a very sound position.
Until proven otherwise.
I think it's fair to say that we are. What's the term where you we are politically agnostic?
Right, there you go.
That we're still waiting to be proven that
misanthropic. I was going to say, but
misanthropic. What you mean? You just don't like female politicians?
Oh, humans.
Oh, sorry.
No, that would be something I can't think what it would be, but it would be something else, wouldn't it? I don't know.
When you don't like, when you have a hatred of women.
Yeah, there's a word for that, but it's not
misogyny.
There you go. That's.
I was close. Come on.
Near enough. Yeah, that's not what I meant. No.
Okay.
I have the opposite.
You can say that now, but we know what you meant.
Oh dear.
Anyway, right.
Yes, okay. Moving swiftly on.
Probably best. So, catch-up corner. I think we can take a turn and walk away from that now.
Yeah.
And get on to our character assassinations. And we do have an announcement regarding the character assassinations.
That's right. Do you want to... Should we play the jingle first or not?
Yeah, let's. For the... Yeah.
It gets you in the mood, doesn't it?
I
Very
feel,
bleak.
yeah, that's good for January. I feel that music has never been more appropriate because, dear listeners, it is with some regret that we have to announce that this will be the last character assassination.
Oh no, they're all crying into their
Do you think we should explain why, or do you think literally no one gives a shit?
Well, some people might give shits, but I wonder if explaining is just it's more mystical to not explain, just not.
Oh yeah, I like that. Yeah. And it takes. I think probably in a broader sense, they just take too much time, and we've got other ideas down the line, so we've decided we're just going to kick it into the long grass for now.
Yes, I mean we've done it quite a lot, and it's been fun, but life moves on, right? So,
it does, yeah. We're constantly evolving podcast. We like to think so we can meet the needs of our listeners in a. Did we actually ask anyone? We didn't, did we? Okay.
We did a huge media poll. Had people standing outside Tesco's
with a clipboard.
Would you like to talk about the middle range roasting? What the fuck are you talking about?
I was kind of hoping you'd roll out your American accent there.
Wow. No, God. No, I'm banned from doing that. There was a Interpol stuff.
Yeah, we are on a watch list now because of Adam's American accent. Right, so anyway, on the subject of character assassinations, this is a very good time to go out because we're going out on a high, which is that Rob Stewart has very generously joined Jennifer Maguire on the podium by donating 5 coffees.
Yeah, nice one. That'll do.
That'll do. I think that's, I'm sure Rob's underwhelmed with that, but hopefully we'll make up for it with the roasting, the assassination.
But that is an extremely generous thing. Thank you very much to Rob Stewart.
We should stress that we are not ceasing the coffee purchasing.
Oh, Christ, no, Jesus.
We're going to pay for this shit somehow.
Yeah, I'll have to update my jingle, won't I?
Yeah, well, when we come up with a new idea, then we can. I'm sure we'll. And again, if you think you've got an idea for how we might celebrate the great and the good who donate coffees, then please let us know. I think this is our second. No, I think we've second intonation of the name, isn't it? But it's basically been the same thing. We're just roasting someone's name, but it's getting very long-winded as we're about to demonstrate.
Yes, it might take a while. And basically we're burnt out. I think that's it.
Anything that is vaguely like work, nah, it's not for us. We can't be doing that.
I mean, I suppose we could change it to buy me a pint, something like that.
Buy me a pint, yeah. I think you can actually do that, but then it doesn't make sense. But they messed up with the domain name by calling it Buy Me a Coffee.
Yeah.
So we're kind of stuck with that. But anyway, we may down the line as we continually evolve, look at some other options and things to do. But for now, this is the very last character assassination. And so I hand it over to you, Mr. Eccles, to give the fabulous Rob Stewart a sound assassination.
Right. Okay. So Rob Stewart, not to be confused with Rod Stewart, the gravel-voiced Scottish crooner.
Can I interject there?
Yes.
I'm going to guess, right? I don't know how old Rob is. Our demographic, maybe he's in his 4th or 5th decade, would you guess?
I would imagine so. How old is Rod Stewart? He's probably in his 90s, is he?
He's getting on a bit. I wonder if at this precise moment, Rob is listening and going... or maybe he's just hitting his phone with a hammer now, having probably suffered decades of very poor Rod Stewart jokes.
Fair enough.
But I can imagine if you have a name like that and you have to, like, every time you meet, say you meet somebody like in business or something, somebody you can't afford to offend, and they make that joke, how you must be dying on the inside as you have to sort of chuckle away when somebody makes some reference to sailing or Maggie May or... God, can you imagine it?
Yeah, pretty brutal. Yeah.
Yeah, I think if my name was Robert, I'd go for Bobby. But Bert?
Yeah.
That's a completely different name. Oh, Bert. Oh, I see. Yes. Rob Bert. Right. Gotcha. Sorry. I missed that there.
Right.
You were just chopping the name in half. Right. Gotcha.
Yeah, well, I mean, this part of the
well, surely that would just be Ert.
Yeah, I suppose you could go with
Ert Stewart. That sounds like somebody from Tallahassee, a country and western singer. Ert Stewart.
Oh, yeah, very good. Yeah.
Do you know that you see those album covers of weird-looking people from these are like albums of sort of gospel-y southern singers in America, like the Crayfish Twins or something. You got two like...
Nell Stewart,
That's right.
the singing...
And these are a married couple that are clearly cousins. There's normally a row of kids lined up in front of them that all look
with the same jumper on,
same jumper, same haircut,
different, roughly the same age. Oh dear, you're getting a bonus roast here, mate.
Sorry. Right, I'm going to step back.
Okay.
Carry on.
All right. So Rob Stewart is in fact a Scottish veterinarian, right? That's an animal doctor for the Americans, not an ex-military person. So he drives an solid old Land Rover around the remote highlands of Scotland. You know, he's always got his arm halfway up a cow's arse, right? Wears a lot of tweed, smells very countryside-y. So one stormy night, right? This is on topic. He goes out to deliver a baby horse, a foal, I suppose they're called. But it's in this remote old manor house. They've got these stables, and there's a horse, right? So, but it's a stormy night, and I'll probably put in sound effects here later.
Kind of ruined it by mentioning it.
Yeah, well. Anyway, so stormy night. He goes out to this old manor house and delivers a baby horse, right? But during, I don't know how long it takes to deliver a horse. So I'm guessing it's not quick, right? So it's the middle of the night by the time he's over, and it's horrifically storming. And turns out that the river has swelled and ripped out the bridge, meaning that he's stranded in this place, right? And the power goes off, and the phones are all dead. It's much like my life. Apart from the
have you taken delivery of any horses though?
Not recent.
Okay.
No.
2 hours on Amazon.
Really? Yeah. The same day delivery.
Yeah. Shetland pony to your door in 2 hours. Sorry.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
So anyway, so he's stranded there, right? So Angus and Helen McBride are obviously the owners of this manor.
Yeah.
They say, look, you can stay here tonight, mate, and we'll sort you out, right? Obviously. So they give him a room and a nightcap, and he falls asleep, and he's been drugged, and he's knocked out cold, right? But he's a sleepwalker. They didn't know that, right? Didn't lock his door, so he sleepwalks out of the room, and he goes and finds himself in the cellar of this old manor house, and it's all sort of candle lit and whatever. He trips over something and falls over and wakes up out of his sleepwalky slumber, druggy slumber, and he finds himself in this candlelit cellar with a couple of dozen people all around him in robes and masks, and they're on their knees chanting. And it's a very atmospheric, lit with only candles and flickering and the echoey chamber, right? He's like, what the fuck is going on here? And so he hides behind a table or something and watches in horror as they continue to chant, invoking an unholy spirit to manifest before them. And he notices lying on the altar at the front of this is the body of a young girl, not moving. He's like, oh, fucking hell, what's going on here? And it turns out, it seems like they're sacrificing this girl to the spirit, right? So 2 of the robed acolytes load the girl into a wooden box.
Oh my God.
Kind of like a coffin, right? And he's thinking, what the hell am I going to do? There's so many of them. What am I going to do? And finally, after a lot more chanting and with a flash and puff of smoke, a spirit appears at the front, right? But he's looking at this spirit and he's thinking, they're not right here, though. And on closer inspection, Rob sees that the spirit is actually much-loved entertainer and deceased TV magician, Paul Daniels.
Fucking hell.
He's like, you like this? Not a lot. And so Paul Daniels at the front, he waves his magic wand, and with another puff of smoke, the young girl who was in the coffin suddenly appears next to him out of the fog. And Paul Daniels looks directly at Rob at the back of the room because he can see him. And he says with a wink, and that's magic.
Oh.
And after that, Rob and his Land Rover are never seen or heard from again.
Wow.
And I think this would be called Death Cult Daniels.
Oh, I don't even know where to start with that. I must admit, at one point, I think this is taking on a slightly, almost like some sort of hedonistic, cultish.
Eyes wide shut.
Yeah, something a bit wrong there. But you rescued it with
yes.
The ghost of Mr. Daniels.
Now, I suppose that we don't actually know where Rob is from, right? If you're not from the UK or Ireland, I suppose, then you may not know who Daniels is.
No, you've just basically ruined his roast.
Yeah. So he was a much-loved TV magician. Much loved. And he had this
he was a
beautiful
generally
assistant.
Tolerated.
Oh, I was going to say about the beautiful assistant, right? So
yes.
But anyway, she was
Debbie McGee.
Yeah,
who actually became his wife.
Not Debbie Gibson, as I was thinking a minute ago.
No, she was an 80s pop singer, wasn't she, from
yes,
somewhere, America.
Only in my dreams, that was it, wasn't it?
Only in your dreams.
Yeah,
that's it. Turned out to be it's a prophecy, really, wasn't it?
One hit wonder. Anyway.
No, I think she had several hits.
Oh, did she?
It sounds like I'm defending Debbie Gibson now, which I kind of am. She had Foolish Beat. No.
Are we talking hits or are we talking B-sides?
I think that was a hit. Yeah, I liked that song. I think she had one called Electric Youth.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm Googling it here. Apparently she had 9 Billboard Hot 100 hits. Yeah, you're right. Foolish Beats, Lost in Your Eyes, Shake Your Love, Only in My Dreams. So Only in My Dreams.
Shake Your Love. Yeah, that was it was a song.
Electric Youth. Yeah, I reckon that these are tenuous at best.
But listen, I remember them, so therefore they must be hits, right?
Well,
I'm not, because otherwise it implies that I'm some sort of Debbie Gibson fan.
No, well, I think you're a pop aficionado. I think that's what it is.
Well, listen, I don't like to blow my own bugle, but I was on Popmaster. I was a winning Popmaster contestant.
There you go. You got the thermos flask to prove.
No, I got the what's it called, a little radio thing.
There you go.
It's in a drawer somewhere. How did we get onto Debbie Gibson?
Paul Daniels' his wife.
Oh yes, of course, yeah.
Right. God, we've gone all over the place with this, but maybe this is why it's the last one.
Yes, because I think we're doing is we're spending half of each episode doing a character assassination and rushing through 20 minutes of actual content. So,
yes.
On that note, I better crack on with my assassination. So. Okay. I want to go out on a high here. I want to say high. Literally, it does sound like I was on LSD when I wrote this. So, in my book, Rob Stewart, who has lived his entire life in the Norfolk village of Dribble-on-Clunt, and
pronounce it correctly.
Yes. And he's infamous in the village for claiming that he can communicate with ducks. So he insists that quacking isn't just a spontaneous noise that, the average duck makes.
Yeah.
But thank you. But it's actually a language. And Rob claims that he can speak fluent Duckish.
Duckish, right.
Duckish. So now most people in the village just, take Rob's claims as, they humour him. It's harmless nonsense. However, one day everything changes. I think I've used that line a lot, but it's a good segue. So on this particular day, Rob marches into it's actually an evening. I don't know if I said day. On this particular evening, on this particular day, in this particular month, in this particular village, Rob marches into a council meeting, barefoot, clutching a clipboard. Eyes blazing, right? So he stands in front of the massed villagers, and he takes over the mic and he says, "The ducks are planning a coup."
Right. Okay.
And they have appointed Rob as their ambassador, their human ambassador,
locutus of duck.
Yes, exactly. So. Now, clearly, his declaration was met with howls of laughter by both the council officials and the few dozen members of the village who were in attendance. And that only infuriates Rob further. So the next day, he decides to take action. So by midday, he set up a makeshift duck embassy by the village pond, complete with a flag that he'd designed. I think it's a duck holding a gavel, something like that.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
So
we're talking about the sort of green. What are they called? Mallard.
All ducks are equal, aren't they?
Well, some of them are white and
they're doves
with yellow beaks, and other ones are sort of greeny. Are they green?
I'm pretty sure there are different varieties of duck. Yeah, there's Peking duck, Daffy.
Okay, but for the purpose of this, then all ducks are required.
All ducks are the same. Yeah, so I'm guessing these are your common garden, English village ducks,
pond ducks. Okay,
pond ducks. Yeah, we'll go with that. So he's by the pond. He's got his flag on a pole, and he's even written a manifesto entitled "The Quack Treaty of 2025." So, obviously, this attack attracts the attention of the head of the village council, Dickie Moat, who happens to be walking his border collie past the pond at this time. We don't know the name of the collie. Probably not important, but
probably not.
Inject your own one. So, what Dickie witnesses is Rob seated cross-legged at the edge of the pond, nodding intently as a large gaggle of ducks quack around him.
Right.
Is it a gaggle of ducks?
That's geese, isn't it? But what's the
collective term of ducks? We don't know or care. I can't believe we're actually. Let's move on. A raft of ducks.
A flock.
A flock of ducks. No, that's it. Right. Okay.
Never mind.
Anyway, so Dick hurries home and he reports the uprising to the other members of the village council. And News quickly spreads, and within an hour or so, numerous reporters have descended on the village green the pond. Now, when everyone's imagine you've got the local, you've even got the national press there, all of the villagers, and then Rob stands upon a upturned milk crate,
right,
to make an announcement. And he says with grave authority, the ducks demand better treatment, no more stale bread, free access to all public fountains, and they would like an annual festival called Quackfest. They are also, more importantly, furious about the number of geese who are frequenting the pond in increasing numbers.
Oh, dear.
According to the head duck, don't know what his name is, apparently... Rodney Duck. This is obviously interpreted by Rob. We are not anti-goose. This is what one of the more prominent ducks stated. But no one asked us if we were happy to share our pond with these newcomers.
Oh dear. So things are afoot.
Yes. Anyway, so when a journalist laughed, as did everyone really, and asked what the ducks' demands were, or what would happen if the ducks' demands weren't met, Rob, with his clipboard in hand, stared into the distance and said, "The ducks, and I quote, will seek independence. This will be our Quacksit."
Oh,
God. Quacksit means Quacksit. So, I think. Do you know what? I think it's just as well we're retiring this because, frankly, it's getting out of hand.
That's very good. Oh dear. Yes, but imagine the realm of the duck. To get, you have to buy a lot of bread to get into there.
You're not allowed. You're not supposed to feed them bread. I'm told this all the time by more. It's one of the. Is it an urban myth, or was there a reason the bread? You know, they seem to eat it. So
I mean, yeah. If you throw out chips at the seagulls will eat anything. That's just,
yeah.
But the ducks, I suppose they would as well. I don't know. They fussy.
I've been running an experiment where I've been putting food waste out on the bird table.
Right.
Because the only two types of bird that ever visit this bird table in the garden are pigeons and magpies. And they will eat, I've discovered, fucking anything. I mean, literally anything.
Nuggets, chicken nuggets.
Honestly, other birds, they don't care. They just do not care. They are cannibals. If I got not duck, I'm fucking obsessed with duck now. If I roasted a pigeon and cut it up and put it out on the bird table, the pigeons would eat it. They wouldn't think twice.
Okay.
Marshmallow, they'll eat that.
Pigeons are like flying rats, aren't they? Basically, they're just there's so many of the bastards, and they don't give a fuck.
No, they're a law unto themselves. But
yes.
I don't know how we. Well, do you think this is taking a rather avian turn? This
might have, yeah.
We should just do a new podcast based purely on birds, but do it in like a 70s style. So we're referring to. Sorry, Bird of Manning's World of Birds.
There's no tits in your garden. Is that what you're saying?
Oh dear, maybe not. Okay, so I think that nicely rounds off our last ever character assassination. So I hope you enjoyed that, Rob. I think we've gone out. I'd like to say a high, but I think we've just gone out weirdly, haven't we?
Quite weird, yeah. Quite weird, but you know. That's on brand, I reckon.
Yeah, I'd say so. Anyway, so RIP character assassinations. We'll be back with something after this break. Right, there was no break, but people got the point. Right, shall we have a bit of a rage?
Let's do that then.
Okay, so we have been discussing this particular subject on and off for some time now, and I think we've kind of got to the point where it felt inevitable that we had to discuss it. And this week's episode's rage point is apps.
Yes, apps, applications.
We should start off with a bit of a positive about apps, shouldn't we? Just for a bit of balance.
I suppose so. So, I mean, in my a history of life. I have done many things, and one of them was to try and actually write and sell apps as a developer, as a coder. And I can tell you it's fucking hard to keep up with the language and the constant change. And then when you do produce something, I made a couple of games, right, a long time ago. But putting out a piece of software, I suppose it's similar to putting out a book, right? But I don't know, it feels like unless you've got a vast amount of marketing behind you, right, putting out an app or a game, it's like throwing a pebble into the Pacific Ocean, right?
Yeah.
It's a tiny, tiny ploop, and there's
barely a ripple.
Yeah, nothing. So yes, it's extremely hard to make a living out of that, right? So full respect to people who do that and can make it work. But
that said,
but the sort of culture. I mean, actually, so obviously, if you want to start with the history, so I don't know. We're not talking.
Should we issue a warning that a nerd is just about to talk about the history of apps here?
Got a button for that.
Come back in 45 minutes.
But look, I mean, very quickly, look, obviously, in the bad old days, when you wanted to buy software, you had to sort of go to a shop, and it was often, on an industrial estate, not anywhere near the high street. And talk to people in suits or sports jackets or whatever there was. It was a weird experience, and you'd end up with a huge box with a single floppy disk in it, and an actual printed book manual. Remember those? And you'd have to install it, and there'd be weird copyright stuff on it, and all sorts of crap, right? So those days are long gone, and you download things, but pre-mobile phone, smartphone, that sort of era, this didn't exist at all, right? So this has all come to light.
Would you say, though, here's a little question for you. Before smartphones, we had games on the phones, right? Like Snake. Now, you could buy and download those. Now, were they technically apps? Little pockets of data that added extra functionality to your phone. So I'm going to say, because I was doing a bit of digging around, and I didn't realise it was 2008 that the Apple App Store opened.
Yeah. So it's not that long ago in the scheme of things. I suppose there's people probably not listening to this, but there's plenty of people who were born after the era of app stores and whatnot. My kids, right? But who've never known anything else. But anyway, what was the point?
Do you know how many apps were on the App Store when it launched?
I think it was. I don't know. I'm going to guess and say like 100,000 or something like that.
500.
500.
Yeah.
Okay.
I wonder how many there are now.
Yeah, well, millions, literally.
I was hoping
millions.
you'd research that and you were going to blind me with the answer.
Well, I can say that I know the chap who there's a this is going to go really deep nerd now and uncover my history, right? But there's a
your criminal past or your history.
No, my
nerd okay.
Past. There's a legendary Mac developer called. James Thompson. Christ, I've forgotten his name there. And I talked to him on Twitter and the other thing. Nice chap, very nice chap. And he makes an app called pCalc. This is not an advert, but you might as well go and buy it because it's a good calculator app for Apple products. But anyway, he was one of the very first because he's always one of the very first on every single new platform. But anyway, that aside, he was probably one of those 500, right? So, but yeah, so look, I mean, it's been what, is it 2008? Like, so it's
17 years.
17 years. So yeah, so that doesn't, I mean, it's not a long time in the scheme of things, but I suppose it's quite a long time in the history of software.
Well, what we have realised is that enough time has passed for us to go sit there with wide-eyed wonder at this new thing, like having having a navigation device in your pocket, and access to virtually every song that had ever been recorded. So we've gone through this wonder stage, and we've come out the other side, and we've realised that somehow people have taken this experience, this thing, this technology, and they've fucking ruined it. As we're about to discuss.
It always happens, doesn't it? That people ruin things,
You take something good and people just have to piss around with it and somehow make it worse. I don't know.
Yeah.
So this is probably a good jumping off point, I'm going to guess, with...
We've introduced
where do we start? I don't know. What boils your piss when it comes to apps?
Yeah, so let's say you think of a need. You think of I wish there was an app for whatever, right? And you go and try and search for it in the app stores, and you will find something that does it, because there is literally an app for everything.
Yeah,
but you will also find 10,000 things that do it. And most of them are scammy, bollocky, weird, fucking shitty rip-off things that just want to scam you, take your money, do nothing, sign you up for a subscription that you really don't want. And yeah, it's just searching for something, even if you know the name of it, even the exact name of it, you just won't find it. So the only thing you can do is search it on Google, find the actual website, and then go that way, right? But it's just a nightmare trying to search for something, especially if you don't know the name of something. If you're just trying to find, well, what's the best app for that?
Yeah,
surely there must be one, and there is. But fuck hell, trying to find it.
This is, I think, an inherent problem we have in society is there's too much of stuff, right?
Yes.
And there's no quality control. So there's been this drive down of quality, and because costs of everything's going down. To produce this stuff now is they're not expensive to produce. You get somebody in India or wherever to knock an app up or clone an app or whatever. So you end up with just too much crap and not enough actual good quality. So I think what you're probably suggesting is that there needs to be some sort of more rigorous quality control before you can actually get your app into these stores.
Yes, and I mean there is meant to be. There is actually quite a lot of qualification you have to go through to get an app on the store.
Really?
Yeah. But
I'm going to say it's got quite a low bar, though.
Yeah, exactly. And if you know, as with everything, right? If you know the tricks, then you get through. And if you can churn out 20 apps in a week because they're clone, shitty whatever bollocks, then even if you just bang them out and only half of them are accepted, then
you're still going to get, and even if they're taken down, I guess they're just like zombies, aren't they? Come back in a different guise.
Name. Yeah. So it's there's much too much. It's shovelware. It's just fire it in. So that brings us on to the subject of apps themselves, and a particular bugbear of mine is there are apps that we need, right? I would say there are apps that are absolutely designed as apps and they just function as apps, and they wouldn't work in any other form. I mean, I've just said Google Maps. I mean, that's a really good example of something that just works as an app, doesn't it? And Spotify, and there are lots and lots of others. Absolutely.
What I find, what really irritates me is where you go. A website is the perfect medium, and this is online retail. I'm going to say is the best example, because an online website, it works in any browser, right? And you can access it on any device, right? It doesn't need to be any more complicated. But retailers now absolutely hammer you to download their app.
Yes, that is the thing. Yeah, because they hired a team to make it, hired a company to go and make it, and it cost them whatever. And so they want you to use it. Yeah,
but the issue is that there are many times where you can imagine yourself maybe only buying from this company once in your life. Why do you need to download an app?
Sofa app.
Yeah. Who's downloading a DFS sofa app? To what end?
Yeah. But what are you going to do in there, Look at sofas all day.
And I think to take this a step further, this is like people in a company justifying their existence by saying, everyone else has got an app, we need to have an app.
That's it exactly, isn't it? Yeah. We should have an app. Some twant at a marketing meeting was like, we need to have an app, lads. Let's make an app. And my brother-in-law has an app making company, so let's go with them.
And no one in that meeting ever stood up and went, why?
Yeah, because they're all blinded by this shiny, we'll have a cool app and it'll be a big thing and it'll, and we can say we've got an app then. Yeah. Well, I suppose that was maybe cool 10, 15 years ago.
Well, I used to work in the online marketing world back then, and I would get probably once or twice a week a client ring me up and say, I want to get an app. Right. And these were people, like there was a guy who did house clearance. So he had one van, and it was him and his brother who would clear shit from people's garages. And he said, I want an app. I'm like, well, why?
You really don't need. Yeah. That fella does not need an app.
No. But you could argue there's lots and lots and lots of companies that do not need an app. If you can do what you can do on their app on their website, then the app doesn't need to exist. It is only there to serve them.
I mean, I suppose if you actually told someone what the ongoing maintenance of having an app is, constant updates, constant, like every week you would need programmers working on it, and every time there's an operating system update.
Why do they have to work on it every week?
Because there's constant changes and bugs, and it doesn't work. And
hold on, I thought they worked on it every week so they could make it shitter. And then a perfectly serviceable app they've been using for years can have a random update and suddenly is...
Yes, well, that happens as well, yeah. But it was working, and now we broke it because we can't...
Or we redesigned it because we're bored. So that app where you know how to use with your eyes shut, you've now got no clue. Nothing is where it was. Nothing is intuitively located. No. But, somebody in the...
It's really slow. And for some reason, it's 300 meg.
It's completely unfit for purpose. But then we'll have to spend another 6 months unpacking it, debugging it, redesigning it, and that will keep us all in jobs.
Like it was, yeah. God almighty. You can see why this is raging, right? There's so many shitty things here that, again, as with most of our apps, they don't need to be shit. A good app is really good. It does provide purpose, and it's efficient, and doesn't suck the life out of your battery, right? So a lot of apps do that. And just you open it once. Oh, I tell you what really pisses me off is when you open it the very first time, and immediately a few things will happen. First is, do you want to subscribe weekly 20 quid to this fucking thing? And I downloaded it just to see what it was like. So no, I don't want to subscribe. Trying to find the button to close that. Well, that's
it's a tiny little cross somewhere. So there's that. And if you get past that, then there's please rate the app immediately. I haven't fucking used it yet. How can I rate it? And I can't use it because there's this pop-up.
Yeah, and then it will ask you for 1 million different permissions to access this, that, and the other. Like, why do you need to know my location if I'm buying a sofa?
Or even if I'm not buying a sofa, I just want to look at sofas.
and always know my location for the rest of eternity.
Yeah.
That's a bit creepy. So
we want to send you notifications as well about potential sofa deals.
Yeah, I tell you, the notifications are it's constant shit on the phone, isn't it? Then the worst ones are it's something like a food ordering app, right?
Oh, Jesus.
Because when you order the food, you want to get those notifications. So you can't just blanket turn them off, because then you won't know when the food's coming. So you have to leave it on. And then every 5 fucking minutes, there's a discount on Chinese this week. Or
that food that you ate last night. Do you want some more? It's now 10% cheaper. Thanks.
Fucking notifications. I mean, that it can be a phone full of junk. Actually, it's constant maintenance to just keep your phone clean, isn't it? It's just.
Well, weirdly, this entire episode prompted me to have a good clear out. Because you just pick them up, don't you? And one thing I found is like apps that you use only when you're in a specific. Like whenever I go to London, for example, there's
TfL.
Yeah, I wouldn't use there, but there's like a tube map. Tube app. And it's very good, and I download that, and then I'd immediately delete it again because it's massive and it just sits on your phone. Probably wanting to know where you are at any given time because it's obviously location based. So this is the thing, isn't it? It's some of these apps are so temporary. If you live in London, then that must be an absolute godsend. But when you're only visiting, a couple of times a year, you don't need it, do you?
No, exactly. Yeah, and it does all the crap in the background. It's using up space, using up battery, using up data. And then, they update it every other week and you have to keep for the sake of going there. So I suppose that's a good idea, delete it and when you don't need it. But then you get there and you're on the tube and there's no signal. Fuck, I need to download it. Actually, a weird thing, I was in London recently, right? And I don't know how, but I guess they've installed things. But there is now some places where you get a signal on the tube.
Yes.
Fucking weird, isn't it?
Well, you'd think, though. I mean, you can get a signal on an aeroplane 30,000 feet up. So, surely it can't be on the wit of man to get actually underground.
I suppose so. But I mean, it's pretty useful.
It's TfL though saying that. So
anyway, one other thing. If you've got young kids playing games on iPads or phones or whatever, all of the kids' apps are absolutely jammed full of shitty adverts, like popping up every few seconds. Right, my kids would always have iPads and be playing games, and this shit pops up, and they know how to get rid of it because it's just so. I mean, it makes the games unplayable. Because it pops up so frequently and just awful. But then they quit out and they get rid of it and it's gone. But like, oh my God, they're just so obnoxious. And it's often like home insurance or life insurance. Why are you selling that to kids? It's not going to get anywhere.
It could be worse, I suppose.
Yeah, I suppose so. But jamming. If there's ever a way to like, if there's an app that I want and use and like, I'm perfectly happy to pay for it to get rid of any bollocky adverts.
Yeah, I concur. 100%.
Just get rid of that shit. I don't want to see it.
Do you know the other thing that I've also noticed? The ones that you don't use very often. Like most people, I don't know, I'm assuming that most people do this. I don't think I'm some sort of freak. But most of my passwords for various websites are stored on my browser.
Right. Yes.
So I can just go to it and it remembers it and I log straight in, right? No pissing around. Because if you think about how many websites you have with usernames and passwords, I'm guessing I must be into well into 3 digits now, at least.
Definitely. I think I reckon I've got about 700 passwords.
Jesus Christ.
That's not even with work stuff. That's just,
Yeah. So There's a lot. So you do need something that, because otherwise you'd be, honestly, your life would just be a nightmare if you didn't have the browser. Yeah. So of course, but when you go to an app, it doesn't remember it, does it?
No, that's right. Yes.
And because you haven't used it for 2 years,
fucking
you're like, what the hell? Are you trying every variant of every password you've ever used? And then you can't remember the fucking email address that you signed up with. And it's sending it to some account that you had or you no longer have access to, or
Hotmail or something. Yeah, can't get into it. Yeah, and it could take you 20 minutes to open a fucking app because it won't let you in.
Two-factor authentication is the thing now, isn't it? And oh my god,
that's such a pain in the arse.
Now I get that, right? If you're dealing with financial institutions, banks. I get it, but it seems to be just stretching out to stuff, and you're thinking, why would anyone want to pay my electric bill? Right?
Oh yeah, yes. Log in and pay my bills.
Why do I need two-factor authentication? Someone's going to message us now and go, well, the reason is this, but there's loads of other apps. So you think this is overkill. It's again, someone within the department has thought there's a chance we might be laid off. We need to set up a new department, the app security team.
Yes.
And they'll just integrate this shit just to justify their own existence.
Yeah, it's much too much. There's paranoia and there's paranoia, right?
We can do it. It can be done, so we should just do it. And that's the bottom line.
Yeah. And there's biometrics on phones, right? So if you can sign in with your fingerprint or your face,
that's all you need.
That is exactly. Yeah. Why do I need to now remember numbers and type in this, that, and the other?
Get a text message, which takes 10 minutes to come through.
Especially if you've got shitty signal. Yeah. I've been outside before trying to buy the kids a Nintendo game. I've been trying to buy. Is that the wrong way around? I've been trying to buy the kids an Nintendo, and you have to log in, and it sends you a fucking notification, but an SMS, and there's no fucking signal. So I have to go out into the garden, wave the phone around to try and get the fucking thing, and then run back in. And oh god, ridiculous.
Now, something else has just come to the more I get into this, we should say, listeners, we had a little list, and I think we've already gone past this, is what is affectionately known as bloatware.
Oh, yeah.
Now, I don't know what this, because Adam is an eye fan? Is that what you would call yourselves?
A
sheep?
Apple.
Oh, yeah. You're just one of those Apple people. Yes. Whereas I'm very much an Androidian.
It's like Romeo and Juliet, isn't it?
Yes, isn't it?
Oh dear.
Get that out of your head. Right, so I've literally lost my train of thought now.
Bloatware. Right,
what were we talking about? Bloatware. So when I get a new phone, which is not that often, I don't upgrade it every 2 years because what's the point? This phone turns up, and I'd go for a Samsung Galaxy thing, and it's supposed to have, like, you can understand the basic apps, but the amount of shit that Samsung have packed into this thing, and every single one of these apps, like, did you know there's a Samsung browser?
Oh, yeah.
Who's using that?
Yeah. Some hopeful person that works at Samsung is using that.
I mean, literally no one is going to be using. I mean, I can think Internet Explorer 6. I think I'd rather use that than the Samsung browser. It's just pointless. So you've got to then. There was a point where you couldn't actually delete this shit either.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was just baked in. You could not delete it. Now you can, but there's so many, right? I should have actually drawn up a list of the crap that Samsung decided to pop onto my phone, and there's just everything that all of the apps that you already use do, just worse.
Yeah, because they're gonna be, aren't they? I mean, it's terrible. Yeah, this is. Listeners,
is it an Apple thing? Do they do that on Apple?
Don't, absolutely not. That's absolutely not. Doesn't happen. I mean, there's lots of there are apps that are a part of the operating system, yes, but they're not bloatware. They're nice. They're good.
So when when you unbox your new iPhone, I'm assuming that it doesn't matter because you just transfer everything over. I'm guessing.
Yeah. Well, this stage.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. So it wouldn't matter anyway. There's no Apple apps that are just there that you just don't use.
I mean, there's the odd thing like stocks, stock market, whatever it's called, trades or whatever.
Okay.
Yeah, there's things like that you don't use.
How do you manage your portfolio then?
Yeah, right.
It's all Bitcoin, isn't it?
I used to have shares, but they're all gone now. So
okay, yes,
but no. So yeah, but no. Otherwise, the Apple stuff is pretty clean. I think anyway. Yeah, the stuff that
well, I've just shot myself in the foot here after defending Android for years.
You see, there's a reason.
Maybe it's a Samsung thing, I think, specifically, because I'm sure this isn't the same on others.
Well, I don't know. Unless you buy a Google phone, it probably is loaded up with whatever crap that they can shove in there, right? Because I think it's the thing about Android is it's a base OS. If you just had the base clean Android OS, then it probably wouldn't be. But it is the Samsungs and the whoever the hell makes these phones. Who else makes phones? Don't know.
Nokia, Sony Ericsson.
Yeah, well, those people they would put shovelware on top of the base OS, right? So yeah, bloatware. Yeah,
I was just having a quick glance at my phone, and there's another one. Right, I don't know if you have these in Ireland, but they're becoming more and more commonplace in the UK, where you go to a car park and the only way you can pay is by downloading a fucking app, right?
Yes.
And you've got to download this app in an area with patchy cell coverage.
In a multi-story car park.
Exactly. So You've got to download the thing, and then you've got to go through all that rigmarole, accepting all the terms and conditions, and then blah blah blah. And then you've got to register a card, and of course, then it goes your bank's messaging saying somebody's trying to.
Yeah, it's brutal, isn't it?
Do you remember we used to just put coins in a slot?
I know, yeah.
And that was that.
Yeah, those days, get a ticket, put it in the car,
shove it in your windscreen. Come back 10 minutes afterwards to a £50 fine. But it was simple and straightforward.
Well, the thing about that is I never have any change anymore.
Well, okay. So you used to keep a little... Did you know your car not have a little coin tray?
Yeah. I have actually.
You just had no coins.
Yeah. Well, I've put some in the car now, but for a long time, I didn't have any coins. And like I've talked about this before, you go to Tesco and you do trolley coin, right? So,
of course, yeah.
So I've got a special trolley coin. I need a special pound coin or euro coin for the park. But I tell you what, I get around this by not going to places where they make me pay to park.
Well, I do. I mean, if I will not go into a town centre, I'll park on the periphery and walk in because it just infuriates me.
Yeah, it's horrible. You can't. There's nowhere to park, or if it's really cramped and some bastard's going to bang your door. It's just fuck that. There's a car park in the town here, right, where you have to walk. If you walk through the pedestrian walkway, it's this multi-story, and basically it's become an aviary. There's literally
we're back on that again, aren't we?
Yeah. The path is absolutely knee deep in bird shit, and you think, well, if I'm not going to walk down that because I'm going to get shat on, 100% you're going to get shat on. Like there's thousands of starlings or whatever up in the roof of this fucking building, and I'm not going to park in there. So you have to walk. That
stuff will ruin your paintwork as well.
Yeah, right? Yeah. So you have to walk down the road bit where the cars are. You're not supposed to, but it's either get run over or get shat on. What is your choices?
All because of an app. Actually, it's nothing to do with an app, was it? I don't know how we got there. Car parking, yes.
But yeah, you have to pay with your... in that one, you have to get a ticket and then you put it back in and pay with your phone. So it's even more complicated. And you ever try going to the car park machine and you're carrying a bag of food and something else, and then you got to get your phone out and put it in and do the thing. And
why has car parking now become akin to searching for the holy fucking grail? It's ridiculous.
It's
Everything is. We're going to have to do an episode on the overcomplication of life.
Yes.
For no discernible reason other than people just seem to make money out of it.
Yeah.
Bloated bureaucracies and regulation and all this sort of stuff.
Yeah.
I feel we've gone slightly off piece from the app subject.
But it's app related, yeah. So I suppose because there is literally an app for anything, then that's you're bound to get derailed, right, and talk about car parks because.
I was going to start. I'm conscious of time, but I was going to start talking about the food apps because when there was a food app thing, I thought that's great, right? Somewhere you can, but now there are lots and lots of different food apps.
Yeah.
So of course, and they all tend to deal with different restaurants and they have different prices, and it's just too much going on. And you think, well, you say to your kids, order a pizza, and they go onto one app, and you're like, well, I haven't registered my bank card with that one, so I've now got to download bloody My Wok or whatever it may be, or Pizza This Week, or some other app that's just sprung up.
Yeah. The one here is called Just Eat.
Yes, we have that here with the most annoying TV adverts.
Oh, yeah, right. But there's something else as well. I can't remember what it is.
Just Wank. Oh, sorry.
That's a different one.
Very much. Make for a more interesting advert, though.
Yes. But in America, it's Grubhub.
Is it?
Yeah. And when I was there recently, I downloaded that and got food, and fair enough. But I tell you what, those bastards make you tip. There's no option to not tip. I'm like, well, there's a fee. Obviously, there's the cost of the actual food. Fair enough. Then there's like a service fee.
Yeah.
And then there's a delivery fee. And then you're obligated to tip the person. I'm like, hang on. Isn't that the delivery cost? Like, why am I tipping on top? Like, I'm tipping for, like, how I'm pre-tipping, not knowing if I'm actually going to get my food or not.
Now, this is a thing, though, isn't it? That a tip is a voluntary donation, not donation, a payment for, I would say, for someone who's gone above and beyond in providing service, right?
Outstanding service, yes.
Yes. So if an individual it does their job way above, right, what they're being paid to do, you go, right, I'm going to recognise this by giving them a tip, right? That's how it works.
That's how it should work. Yeah.
How can you be tipping someone before they've even done the job?
Yeah, exactly. Like it's I don't know. This is wildly off topic now, but that the American culture of tipping is way off. Like that is just fucking weird. It's become like you have to do it now, or you won't get any service at all. Like the fucker didn't leave a tip. Well, I'm going to throw his food into the hedge, right, or something like that. So it's weird, isn't it?
But if it's mandatory, then this pisses me off. Not that I go to restaurants very often, but if I see that there is a service charge bolted on, then I'll refuse to demand for it to be taken off. I'm not paying a service charge. Yeah. I will do a discretionary tip if we've had if there's been a waiter or waitress has been particularly good. But I haven't been to a restaurant since 2009. So things may have changed.
Dear me. Well,
I don't like restaurants for that reason and many others.
Okay, but I mean, but even just for them to bring your food, in a battered old car, so
cold, late,
definitely late, and you can see them moving down the road on the Grubhub app, and then so I went outside. I was in the hotel and went outside and got it myself, because I couldn't trust them to find the room. Then my drink was missing, and the dude's like, oh, well, I don't know. They didn't give me one. And I'm thinking, I bet you fucking drank it, mate.
Now, you wouldn't give that guy a tip, would you?
No, but he got a tip because I had to give him one.
Yeah, that's
up
asked
front.
about
That's
face,
fucking
isn't it?
ridiculous.
Yeah.
That boils my piss, that does.
And the other, you could argue as well, why all these fees there when essentially you're doing everything yourself using the app?
Yeah.
What are they doing?
I know. Yeah.
There's no one on the end of a phone or, taking an order, is there?
No,
that you're paying for. It's literally you're doing the work yourself.
Yeah.
They should be paying you.
They should bring me.
We don't have to hire somebody to sit on the phone. So, Adam, we're going to give you 50p off this. But no, we're going to charge you £2.50.
Yeah, yeah.
Robbie
Service
bastards.
fees, delivery fees, and a tip. And to be clear, that all added up to about $15 on top of the food.
Seriously?
Yeah. It's not cheap. It's not pennies. So this was in
So
Chicago.
fuck you, Grubhub.
Yeah, fuck 'em.
Fuck them.
So I know we have some listeners in America. So how do you find your food apps? And do you? Is there a way around giving them a tip for literally doing nothing?
I also saw somebody on one of these TikTok reel videos saying that like a bag of, I think it was spinach or something in the US is like a $5 for like $5.
Really?
Like fresh food over there is very expensive. Like you go into Tesco's or Sainsbury's, it's like 99p or something.
Yeah, you're not allowed fresh food. You have to have,
Hyper processed.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Like you can get Taco Bell for like 80 cents or something.
What?
Yeah, burritos for less than $1.
Yeah, if you're not questioning what's going in that price.
Nuclear waste or leftovers or something, it's not going to be the prime quality, is it?
It's not going to be the prime, and it's going to be have come out for freezer as well, because you're not buying 100%. That in fresh every day, are you?
No. God, no. Yeah, dodgy.
There's just someone out the back chiseling like the worst cuts of beef from a frozen carcass, and yeah. Anyway, do you know what we've done?
We've gone long.
Did we have a New Year's resolution?
Of course we did. I think we said those were crap, weren't we?
Yeah, well, probably just as well then, because we didn't manage to stick to. We said, an hour. Yeah, we've kind of.
Yes.
So we should probably.
We did go very long with the character assassinations.
Well, it was the last one, so I think we've just proven why they have to go.
Yeah, there you go. Yes, hour and 16 minutes. So yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I think we can safely say now that we have been angry about apps. Apoplectic.
Yes.
Oh, I thought that was worthy of something. That one. Thank you.
I was a bit slow there. Sorry.
It was. It's late. I'll forgive you. Anyway, right. So let's wrap things up with our happy ending.
We've only got one, sort of.
What's a joint happy ending?
Spit roast. No.
Dear.
No.
Oh, dear.
No. Right. So,
probably an app for that.
Episode 17. This is episode 18.
Yes.
And episode 17 was our most downloaded episode in the first week. So I think that means that lots of punters slapped it up straight away. So fair play to you.
I think what we're trying to say in a broader sense is that the numbers in the podcast seem to be sort of we're not going to be troubling the top 100 anytime soon, but there there's a steady slow trickle
dribble
a dribble of new listeners. So if you are new and you've made it this far, I mean, fair play to you. But welcome on board. Thank you for
go back and listen to the other 17.
Yeah. Thank you for giving us a go. And I think so basically the happy ending really is just a recognition that we're still going after 18 episodes, and we're on an upward curve.
That's it. I saw some statistic that It's gone a bit downhill.
This one may blow that.
I saw some statistic that most podcasts sort of die after their 5th or 6th episode, right? So we obviously outlived that, and it's thanks to all you lovely people who, for some reason, give a shit. So thank you.
Well, I think we're going to, we're just going to keep soldiering on, aren't we? And then, if this momentum continues, we will. What will we do? Well, we don't know really. I mean, I was going to pretend we had a plan then, and we just don't. So we're just busking this.
Just see what happens. But yeah. So do share the pod if you listen and you like it, and you want us to keep ranting. Share it on socials, I suppose. Is there a way? It must be a way to do that. I don't know.
I suppose you could just. Do you know what? If you just went up to people in the street,
yeah.
Do you know there's this podcast called Middle Aged?
Yeah.
Anyone that you think looks angry and middle aged,
yeah, they won't be weird about that at all. That's totally.
Probably avoid people who look drunk and or violent.
Yeah, well, that's just a general life.
Well, yeah, true. But yeah, approaching strangers. I mean, that could be a new thing. Do you know what? I might take a clipboard next time I go into a town centre. Yes,
good idea.
It should be about 2033 because there's literally no point anymore.
Park.
No, nowhere to park. No shops are open. Just a desolate wasteland of charity shops and coffee shops.
Yeah, charity shops, coffee shops, and
nail bars,
mobile phone repair centres.
I think they've now given over to Turkish barbers and vape stores.
Okay.
So if you want your nails done, you want a haircut and some cherry cola vape oil, then you're good to go.
Fair enough.
And talking of going,
we're going now. Out, up and smoke here, yes.
Yes. Thank you for listening, and we shall catch up with you in a week or two with episode 19. And I think just a final RIP, rest in peace.
Yes.
Character assassinations. It's been a pleasure. It hasn't, has it? That's why we're getting rid of it. That's the truth be told.
Bit of laugh,
it's been a pain in the arse. Yeah.
That's enough of that.
Indeed.
Right.
Till next time. Goodbye.
Take it easy.